Alright, hello. Let's take that music down a little bit. Manoli, I think you already left, but thank you so much for the raid. Thank you, thank you. Welcome, Oldster, hello, Funky Bonjour, hello, Hawk80, hello, hello. Soran, hello. ODM, yo, what's up? How's it going? Good to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. Hey, Hanker. Oh, damn, 3 years. Happy 3 years. Thank you so much for the resub. Always appreciate the support. Alright, so shall we get started? Okay. So, today we are building a Caerdroia with EC parts. I got a ton of stuff over here, but pretty much ends up being a choice of domes, and then the rest is KLC EC parts. So the Caerdroia is a board by Alchemist keyboards, and that's going to be Mr. James. So if you want to look at the Keycaps thread, you can do that. There's also the the product page from Canon Keys. It's currently live. The group buy just went live, I believe yesterday. But you know, the basic idea is it's an F12 TKL, allows win key or win keyless. You have MX, electrocapacitive or ALPS compatibility, 7-degree typing angle, and etc. etc. It has a USB 3 hub and so on and so forth. So yeah, the cool part is that you can kind of use all, you know, MX, ALPS, or EC, which is pretty cool. And so today we're going to be doing just the EC build. I believe the Manic Geek just recently did an MX build, so you can find more details on that through the Manic Geek. And so yeah, I believe the price starts around $420-ish, and then kind of goes up depending on what kind of kit components you get. And you know, these are all available through Canon Keys and a bunch of other vendors. There's like Dock Exchange, Keygen, Minnow Keys, Z Frontier, Daily Clock, Geon, and iLume KB. All right, so let's get the board. I have it right here. So show the board. If you're wondering what happened, I was cutting vegetables earlier today and I sliced my finger a little bit, so I just had to put a little band-aid just to so it doesn't look too ugly. But yeah, onion slipped from my hand. All right, so let's see. So here we have the Caerdroia V2 Proto. It looks to be the, I think this is the E-beige color. 1 carat 0 Diego onion. It was the onion. So here's the E-beige color. So there it is in win key. This one is currently has the MX 4.5 millimeter plate in polycarb, and so just looks like that. Center USB port, USB hub on the right side of the board, and then on the rear part of the board, you have an AKB logo over there, and just kind of goes like that. Sort of like has this kind of like house shape, sort of like incline inward like that, going from the bottom. And then you have AKB feet. We have weights over here that says Caerdroia and has these cool lines. And then, you know, you kind of have the sides where you can grip if you need to like turn the board around, and you have fasteners, bolt fasteners from the bottom. You have 3 at the top and 4 on the bottom edge, on the front edge. And you know, you have bezels like that. The proportion of the bezels is seems like it's slightly thicker on the top and bottom compared to the right and left. Actually, the bottom is the front bezel is slightly bigger than the rest. But yeah, slightly different bezel proportions compared to like some of the more classic thin bezels on the side type of boards. So that's kind of what it looks like just in general. Okay, so let's see. So I don't think I need anything from the MX stuff. So this is all MX stuff, I believe. So let's get on to the EC components. Okay, so let's see. So these just are kind of like, just gonna put them on the side. So here we have some KLC components, just the EC pack, just housings and sliders. We have some domes here from Clever Keeps. Clever sent out, looks like, not sure. I'm gonna assume these are like 90-ish domes. They're cut in strips of 6, so I assume these are 90 because they're exactly only strips of 6. So this is probably like 90-ish domes, approximately 90 domes of 56 gram actuation, I assume. Green domes, then 25 gram, just a few of them, not too many, for fun. And we have some 42 gram domes. These are probably closer to what I like, because if it's 42 gram actuation, the bottom out is somewhere around like 50 some, maybe even up to 60. So this is probably closer to like a stock HHKB type of deal. Where do you get this desk mat from? This desk mat, back in the day, was sold by Keycaps, but Keycaps is no longer, has not been a functioning vendor for a long time. So I believe there was someone who reran it, and like there was a store like either on Taobao or AliExpress, and I believe it was sourced there, and I just got it from a friend who just had ordered it back then. These are some KLC parts. So we have the conical springs. These are just the housing or plate holders from Desk Est from Mr. Nihon Jam. He sent these a while back. These are some KLC sliders with silencing rings. Looks like we have stabs and individual MX sliders, KLC components. I think these are KLC domes. So we have individual KLC domes, these yellow ones. Then let's see. You got screws for fastening the plate and the PCB. And then looks like here we have the daughter board components that I need to replace for the EC stuff. Okay. So here we have our Cipulot powered hub, and then a daughter board here with the USB-C port, and then the appropriate cable for that, which connects the two. And then on the other side of the USB hub, we have a Molex Pico Easy Made connector, and that's about it for this side. This side's just a USB-C. So then we have a I think 8-pin GST connector here that will connect these two. Okay, let's move forward. Then we have our electric capacitive compatible Cipulot TKL PCB. So there it is, with all the compatibility that you could ask for, including ISO and other things, but very nice. The EC TKL X PCB. So we have a Cipulot PCB over here. Here's our Pico Easy Made connector. Looks like interesting. I will need a Pico Easy Made to JST, right? I'll check for that. As mentioned in the Keycaps post, the DB plus hub PCB have been condensed into a single PCB. Okay, so these two are condensed into a single PCB. Okay, roger that. And then we have our brass plate, which appears to have been used prior, but we have our brass plate with the EC housings already installed, so at least I don't have to bother installing these myself. But you know, if you got the plate separately and if you got the housing separately, you would be popping these in one by one. It's actually quite a bit of work, but you know, you would have to do that. But looks like we already have it all installed, so I'm just gonna be using this. So that's what we have parts wise. Okay, so let's get on to it. I guess the first thing I should do is, well, so what I'm seeing here is I actually do need a cable that's appropriate for this. And let me see if the bag had another cable, because I didn't see it. If not, I have Pico Easy made to JST connectors, but just double checking just in case. Let's see. That's a Easy Made cable. That's a lot of more Easy Made cables. Okay, I guess I'll just bring one of mine. Here. I hope this is long enough. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. Alrighty, so I have the appropriate cables, have my parts ready, and we can go ahead and build this up. Alright, so I guess first things first, let's explore some of the internals of the board. So let's open up the keyboard up. Oops, wrong screwdriver. This one. So here are some changes that I was told from James. So they said that the USB hub has indeed been upgraded to 3.0. The hub and the daughter board have been merged together into a singular piece. The internal geometry of the bottom case has been altered to fit the new daughter board, of course. And the USB-C cutout height has been adjusted because the PCB will have slightly different dimensions, and then the external design of the board is not going to change at all. So they're basically just changing to accommodate the daughter board, and that's being modified for this. Gonin, hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? All right, let's get our screws together. Got all of them. Okay, so 7 bolts for the top and bottom cases. Wait, did I miss one? No, that's it. Okay, so that's what the thick PC plate looks like. Thick boy. So that's the top case. The top case pretty much just has this kind of protrusion here that kind of lines up with this. So in a way, it serves as an alignment pin. It also has these alignment tabs as well here. But you know, it kind of serves to align the top and bottom piece like that. Pretty neat. Let's take off this plate since we are not going to be using it today. Alright. Emerade! Hola! How are you? Okay, I will not be needing all this stuff, actually. So let's take all this stuff out. All good. How about you? I'm doing okay. Today's been quiet. I mean, I just have been doing chores at home, cleaning stuff. I was cooking earlier and I accidentally sliced my finger with the knife because the onion slipped from my hands. So there was that. So that's why I have this band-aid on my index finger compared to last night's stream. But other than that, doing okay. It was not a bad cut. It was just looking a little ugly. So I just decided to put a band-aid because otherwise it looks pretty ugly. Does it? Guess it doesn't really matter. Ben56K, hello, how's it going? How's the McLaren board? I missed the stream, it's a crazy color. Honestly pretty cool. I genuinely enjoyed it. I think it's like a very cool board, both like look wise. It has a concept that is like kind of refreshing and very cool. Like it's like car inspired, but I think it's done really well. It's really cool. Like, you know, starting from the rest all the way to the design of the board itself. I think like they really went kind of like out of the way to like make it work like look wise. And as far as the like mounting system is concerned, it's basically kind of like a DIY mounting, because you basically choose the entirety of the process. Like you choose what material like block to use, and then you know, kind of like what Mode did with their like lattice or like block system or whatever, kind of similar to that idea. But basically you can place it wherever you want. Like, you know, you can place it here or here or here, you know, like you can choose the location of those blocks, you can choose the material of the blocks, the type of the block, and basically it's like a sandwich mount system, where you can choose like soft or hard blocks for the mounting itself, and then you kind of go from there, right? But I thought it was really like cool. Like I think the idea is well executed, and so in a way it's gonna allow for a lot of people to do kind of like whatever they want. I mean, that said, it's still like sandwich mount-ish, so like obviously if you're using like a rigid block, you'll end up with pretty rigid typing feel, but otherwise yeah, it was very, very cool. Does it sound good with all the holes? Yeah, it sounded pretty good. It was kind of a little similar to the Bias DE that I tried like a couple streams ago, that it does have a little bit of extra contact between the top case and the bottom case, especially at the corner. So I like literally put like a tiny square of electrical tape on each corner and it went away, like the resonance of the case. So so yeah, I just told Luke Barron about that. I was like, oh, you know, if you want to tell people to do that, if people like don't like the case resonance, then it's always an easy thing to do. And as far as the holes like in the back or the sides are concerned, like I don't think they affect the sound as much. That said, Elbaron did say that he was planning on offering like a carbon fiber solid piece that doesn't have the holes on the back portion of the board. So I think people might have an option to also get that if they do, if they are interested. Saturday for chores, hopefully Sunday for rest. Yeah, tomorrow a few more chores. I actually do have some work to do. This coming week is just like a busy week. We have like a company-wide meeting and that kind of stuff. So I have like some work to do, like for work. And then yeah, I guess other than that, it's just yeah, some chores. I'm meeting up with a friend just to grab a meal. So we'll be doing that at some point. But yeah, it's mostly weekends. I usually it's just chores, like, you know, laundry and like cleaning, like vacuuming, you know, all that stuff. Okay, so I was told I don't need to lube anything, so I'm gonna just trust that. Otherwise, I guess it will just kind of sound a little more stock. Like, I will obviously lube stabs, so we'll do that. So let's do that. I'm copying NAS folders to optimize my NAS file structure, and saw that you're doing an EC board version of this Caerdroia, and I was like, hey, something to watch while I wait. Oh, nice. Oh, I don't have a working NAS. I do have a Synology, like, that I bought like some time ago when it was slightly on sale, but I need to buy drives for it. So there's that. I saw today's announcement that apparently tariffs are not applying to electronic parts anymore or something like that. I was like, oh god, that's great. That means like hard drives and like other things, like parts, are not gonna go up like astronomically anymore, hopefully, or not as much at least. I would hope. You don't have a working NAS? Yeah, I currently just do like manual backups. So I have a couple of drives that I regularly back up to. So I usually do like 2 or 3 drive backups depending on how important the data is. So that's what I'm doing for data redundancy, but like I don't have like full redundancy in terms of like having a NAS that just, you know, gets connected and you just let it run on its own, and then and all that. But yeah, I really should set up the NAS because so the other day my partner and I were chatting, and she recently got like an upgrade for her storage, but you know, we basically were like, we have a bunch of like photos, like media. I think it's mostly photo stuff. Like, you know, me from keyboards. She does like some birding, as well as like during like the time. So anytime we travel and stuff like that, we take photos and stuff. And we were like, oh, we really need to back all that up a few times so that we don't lose it. That said, like we do rely on some cloud services and some other things, but yeah, I think having all that backed up and having it redundant is always nice. But yeah, I have been doing the like a couple of drives offsite sort of thing, like that I don't touch, like back up every so often. But it's still, yeah, it never hurts to always have more. Two external SSDs for Time Machine and desktop, and then a NAS at home and a NAS at my parents. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I need to figure it out and set it all up. Totally worth it. Also, Pumpy, thanks for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. Tariffs are going to be accepting tech stuff. Apparently, keyboards will count under the exemptions if the people on Discord are correct, because the code used for keys is apparently one of the codes exempted. Yeah, it's gonna take some work around, because the question is like whether or not the exemptions apply to complete parts versus not complete parts, and how you declare that kind of stuff. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But the question is, when it comes to the tariffs, right? The question is, does it matter the country of origin? Because, like, you know, sure, like we're exempt. And like I know that there was a pause for the minimis stuff, and then but you know, we're still like there's this whole trade war essentially going on with China, right? And so kind of wondering if like the administration's gonna go back on it and be like, oh yeah, but it's coming from China, so we hate that, and we're just gonna like not apply this exemption. But I assume, you know, everyone was like, oh yeah, like clearly Apple, like Tim Cook and Jensen from NVIDIA were probably, you know, did some negotiations around here to make it work, but you know, we don't know. That's always been a little vague, but components are covered. This exemption was just for China. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Okay, alright. Okay. But guys, we have such a big drug problem, and clearly my partner importing tea from China is contributing towards the drug problem, and it needs to get taxed heavily. She was pretty bummed about it. When we heard about all this stuff, and they were like, oh yeah, guess that's our last batch of tea that we were getting for a while. 1 million USD dinner with Jensen worked out. Yeah, at least it did on I will say, I mean, every single day, every single week is a rollback or a we're changing our minds sort of deal. And so at this point I don't really hold my breath on anything. Just like okay, whatever comes, you know. It's just such a mess. So yeah, I've just attempted to just try to stop caring and just stop listening about that stuff. And it's like, yeah, if anything, it's good in the sense that it's pushing me to just overall like consume less. Oh, what the heck is this plate? Does this plate have split right shift? What? What is this travesty? Split right shift? Come on. On a TKL? Okay, fine. Forcing me to split right shift. Holy moly. Split right shift is bay? Not on the big layout. It looks so bad. It's like, what's the point? You already have a whole F-row. On a TKL? You guys split your right shift on a TKL? You guys are lame, man. I get it on 60%. I get it on 65. 75, sure. I mean, you're kind of forced to, right? But on a TKL? On a full size? You really do that? I mean, on an 1800, you're forced to because you have the compressed arrow cluster stuff going on. Split anything on TKL is blasphemous. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shit's crazy. Oh, these silencing rings really stayed on, huh? Oh, they do appear to be lubed slightly. I know because when you flip this around and you flip it back, and you see how like they don't like all fall kind of like at the same rate, and like it's not as like quick, so they do seem to have a little bit of lube on there. Okay, cool. All right. I guess this is going to be a faster build than I thought. Okay, so let's lube stabs first though. I prefer lubing stabs with 205. I think 205 is pretty sufficient for toper stabs. Split BS is the worst thing the hobby has come up with. Look, I think split BS is fine on a 60%. But on anything else, it's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, sure, 60% and smaller. Okay, split backspace. Go ahead, do it. Sip. Hold on. Sipulot. You are saying split backspace and split right shift is the way, man, but on a TKL? You would do this on a TKL? Okay, tell me, okay? Tell me. You do this on a TKL. You have your tilde here, or are you one of those people who would map escape here because you're like, oh, on my HKB, I have escape on the top left corner. But the top left corner is over here. It's not here anymore, man. So would you map escape here and then put pipe and until the here, like a 60%? Is this what you would say? Like you would be like, oh, my HKB is over here, and I have all these other keys for artisans or for just like other decorative functional things. I'm puzzled. I am puzzled. what happens? Okay, let's say you don't do escape over here. Then you leave it as tilde, right? Now you have a second tilde. Or are you, oh wait, but you're gonna map delete there, right? Some people say that. They're like, oh, you know, on the 60%, or like on a different board, you know, I keep things there, and then, you know, I have a second thing over here at the top right corner. So I map that as delete. But guess what? On a TKL, you also have delete over here. But wait, you're used to HHKB? Oh, guess what? On HHKB, delete is FN plus top right corner. You can't do that? You can do diamond arrows, but you can't do this for delete? Where do you map it? That's the question. Where do you map it? I'm open to it. You guys can do whatever the hell you want. I don't mind. I'm just trying to rationalize it and kind of poke fun at it, but I don't really care. You guys can do whatever the heck you want. So yeah, you guys can do. I know someone who essentially does. I mean, there's actually is Knighting here? I'm not sure if Knighting was here, but Knighting does like basically 40% on a TKL. Like 40s layout on a TKL. I think Pairs does that too. It does like 40s layout on a TKL. So yeah, there's people who do this stuff. They do like split everything and map like 3/5 of their board is like some kind of 40s, and then the rest is like random stuff, completely random stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, all right, you can have your F24 if you want. What sliders, housing, domes? So sliders, housings, conical springs are all, and stabs are all from KLC. For domes, we haven't chosen, but I'm leaning towards using the 42 gram actuation domes because they're kind of close to what I personally enjoy. We can put some fun ones. Maybe like we can put some of the 25 gram ones over here, something like that. But yeah. FN plus spacebar. I've seen people do FN plus spacebar for stuff because they're used to like smaller boards. I get it. I get it. The only function layer on a TKL is for media keys and reset. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, so I know it's. I mean, obviously my layouts are not that intuitive either. I don't use scroll lock for anything. So I just put the scroll lock as my FN key. And then if I happen to need to deactivate scroll lock, I just put it on an FN layer. I put it next to I would do like FN plus pause is like scroll lock. I put the caps lock here because I never use caps lock on the base layer. So I just put it on like HKB, so FN plus tab, which I never use anyway. And then I typically put media keys on the left side because it's easier because, you know, like FN plus left side keys. And then usually it's like other stuff is like PCB functions like RGB toggle and reset and that kind of stuff. Brace yourself, man. Check my TKL layout in Discord DM. Oh no. I will not publicize this. Also, whoa, hello, who's this? Bowl with the raid. Thank you so much. Also, hello, Mr. Omnitype, Mr. Jeeper, how are you? Good to see you. Oh, wow, that's an interesting layout, Zip. So you split a bunch of stuff. The bottom row is kind of interesting. What do you use all this for? Do you have like a lot of shortcuts to use? Such an interesting way to split the bottom row. Now I'm wondering, does your your PCBs also have all the split stuff? Huh, okay. Cool. I mean, I guess it's also like GIS like support too, right? Until next time. Oh, bye, Soran. Take care. Have a good rest of your day. Diego did. Bull rate, thank you guys. Hope you're all doing well, Raiders. Well, that's cool, Sip. You must be truly enlightened, because I don't have that many shortcuts or keybinds to use, just generally speaking, and so I'm not as cultured as you are when it comes to this. Okay, let's start with a 2Us. Oopsie. All right. So Clever, actually, I guess since you're here and since your domes are being featured over here, can you tell us a little bit more about DynaCap domes? Like, you know, what are they? What's special? What's new? Why is it called DynaCap? Obviously, cap is for capacitive. What's the Dyna coming from? Is it just from the combining of the names of the collaboration, or what's the deal? Tell us more about your domes. Are you planning on like new weightings? Anything special to note? Okay, though, I have something that we can all agree on. 1U shift is cringe and unusable. Depends where it's located, right? For example, I think a 1U shift is fine if you're using it as a thumb key. Like you put it somewhere on the bottom row kind of thing. Because the thumb is easy to like press like a 1U. But if it's like using your pinky and you're using 1U, it's a little bit more difficult, I think. People use it on like ortho, right? Ortho users use shift keys that are 1U a lot, or like most of the time. I mean, certainly my partner does, because my partner uses a Planck at work, which is crazy, but you know, she does. She's way more cultured than I am in the ways of niche layouts. Okay, let's read this. DynaCap domes are meant to have an OEM feel. This is the first profile we'll be offering. Material is not just regular silicone, happy face, and there will be a full suite of DynaCap EC parts available this spring, early summer. Very exciting, very fun. Not just regular silicone. Okay. I do wonder if people ever wonder if, like, the material thing, like, I wonder if people ever wonder, it's like, oh, is this real silicone or not? Is this actually rubber? I'm sure, obviously, on the maker side, you always care, but just for the general person, individual. All the parts are meant to make conversions easier. Foot spacebar housing, MX keycap height, etc. That's great. Just fantastic. I mean, I think more development on the conversion side of EC is always welcome. I mean, SIP has definitely been one of the key folks out there to make it possible, especially with custom PCBs. It's been exciting development to see this sort of happen, just all around, all across the board. Whoopsie, that thing got pinched, didn't it? There we go. Is the EC kit from Caerdroia complete or still need parts? I can check for you. Let's see. Add-ons. EC kit includes plate, PCB, and hardware. That's not detailed enough. Let's see. Add-ons. PCB. Wait, plate, PCB, and hardware. So I'm assuming no? I do wish Upaz was here to answer this question. Because if it's plate, PCB, hardware, then it still means you would need dome sliders, springs, and stabs, right? I mean, I guess that's part of sliders. All the parts are meant to make conversions. Oh wait, I read that. Material does matter. Of course it does. These are a blend of silicone, TPU, and some other stuff. Ooh, very cool. And DynaCap will be available through Omnitype. Ooh, very exciting. I am liking seeing all these vendors participate in the new conversion of Topre. It's the current custom EC revival in the scene that we're seeing is fun, and it's great that it's being offered to various vendors. Promotes a healthy market, in my opinion. That's quite exciting. We didn't have enough housings and sliders production ready to share for the stream today, but excited to see what you think of the domes at least. Yes, of course. I mean, if these are indeed close to what I like about just standard HHKB domes, that would be great. Because it's like I've tried all these other aftermarket domes, like not that many to be fair. Like I've tried some desk domes, I've tried like some of the KLC stuff, I've tried like BK Keycaps stuff, you know, etc. But the main problem with it for me is that it ends up being either like too snappy tactile, or like, you know, the weighting is slightly different off. Actually, the weighting I don't care that much because I can type on like a range of weights and that's fine. But I think like too snappy, like for you know, like the BKE one is like a great example, right? Like those are designed to be very tactile, very snappy. It kind of throws me off for me. I like HKB domes because like the regular 45 gram Topre OEM, because they're just kind of comfortable to use. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. As I said, was just doing chores today for the most part, and some cooking, some cleaning, stuff like that, right? Just like home, like house chores today. Today was a house chores day. EC Bauer Light when? Ooh, that would be pretty nice. EC Bauer Light. That would be good, because it has a, you know, I think EC and plastic housing stuff. That stuff is good, because that's gonna give you a lot more of that like OEM like feel and sound, right? Soon. Very nice. Very exciting. Very exciting. I like all these new EC developments. Just fantastic. That said, I think EC is still a little bit of a luxury, of course. I mean, well, it's always been, to be honest. Topre has never been cheap. That said, having all these parts now around, it's going to make it easier for people to get it, so. The kind of nice thing about EC though is that the manufacturing itself of the parts that comprise EC are essentially require a certain amount of mass production, which essentially means that the price of things per unit gets cheaper as you make more, right? And so it can only promote a market where things become much more ubiquitous and available, and therefore much more accessible on a price, at the price level, which is great. I really like this idea. That said, I think for any designers and makers, it is a burden. It is quite a burden, like financially speaking, because you need to clear certain MOQs. You need to obviously justify that you make something and people will like it. People will want it and like it and whatnot. So there's a bit of that too. Hey, Captain Mike, how's it going? Have you tried any Q2O made switches? And what were your thoughts on them? I have not tried that. I have no idea what that even is. I'm not even kidding. I have no idea what it is. I wish I could tell ya. Oh shoot, I always forget about what this... it doesn't matter right there. Side agnostic. Okay, cool. Just imagine a vintage Ghost EC Bauer with beige caps right now. Yeah. You know, on the cap discussion, I think, you know, Clever and I talked at the Seoul meetup and whatnot, but like, I still am a fan of Topre OEM caps for a good reason. It's because the way that MX sliders work in general is that they just grip differently, like to the keycaps, and so essentially the keycaps just have a very different sound and feel. You know, these MX stems are grippers, man. They like hold on to those caps, or rather the keycaps hold on to the stems quite a bit. And so yeah, it's not the same, to put it simply. Meanwhile, on Topre, like on regular Topre stuff, you have a completely different mechanism going, where you kind of get that snap fit, right? And so that kind of like gives you a resistance at the beginning, and then you end up with like no resistance afterwards. That said, I mean, the availability of MX keycaps is sweet, and so I kind of get that, right? Like, it's good to have, you know, like that being available. I was, oh right, was just looking up something. Okay. All right, where was I? Were there any EC customs at the Seoul meetup? Clever had some of his prototypes at the DDS booth. But if you're talking about like just regular users, no, not really. Not much. I don't remember seeing much on that end. Right? Clever? I don't think we saw much EC really. What the? Wait a minute. I thought, is the fitment on this kind of different? I thought the hook of this thing goes on the opposite side. It's like not really. Oh, it has to go all the way in, right? Hold up. Ugh. It was fun seeing folks' reactions to EC though. Clearly, it was new to a lot of people, and they immediately felt the difference without knowing why. Yeah. Yeah, like fancy rubber domes. They're like, feel like I've tried this before, but why is it different? I think that's kind of the general reaction to EC. Huh? Do these KLC sliders have the hook on the opposite side for this? Oh, it's the opposite of OEM. Oh, okay, that's why. I was wondering why. I was like, why is the hook on the opposite side of what I'm used to? Okay, opposite side it is. I'm too used to OEM, as you can see. So I was like, I thought the way OEM sliders work, or the, you know, so this part right here where it hooks onto the wire, typically on a OEM, basically if the wire is coming from below, the hook part faces up, like the opposite way. But on this one, it's basically the opposite direction. Because there is a little stopper that prevents it from fitting otherwise. Blue Crayon, hello. I didn't tune into a previous stream. What were your thoughts on the BP one? Mentioned earlier, but I was saying that I think it's pretty cool, refreshing and novel in some ways. It's a DIY mounting system. You can do sandwich mount of any way you want. You can do solid mounting, you can do O-ring mounting, you can do whatever, right? And the cool part of it is you're kind of responsible for your own mounting system, and so in a way, there's only you to struggle with to getting it right. That said, I personally found it to be pretty nice. There is some like contact on the case top to case bottom, so I did a little bit of like force break, so to speak, for it to fit with less case resonance, and that worked perfectly well. And that's about it. I mean, my thoughts are just generally that it was pretty solid, actually. I think out of the car-inspired aesthetics, it's very well done. Very, very well done. On the DynaCap slider, there's a closed loop and they're symmetrical. They drop after placing them on the wire. Oh, how nice. Diego, if 60% incorporate a badge, it would have to be HKB to HKB for the layout, right? Yeah, where else would you place the badge is my question. Right? Because if you have Wind Key, you only get the bezels and the bottom to play with. If you want to put a blocker somewhere, you have to sacrifice some degree of functionality, and the question is where. So you end up with options like HKB or Wind Keyless, but then the question is where. Do you put it on both sides? Do you put it on one side? If it's HKB, then you can do it like the Falcon from Matrix. They put it on the HKB blocker. So yeah, it kind of depends. But I mean, I would imagine, yeah, it wouldn't look as good. I mean, I think on HKB is pretty much the only reasonable way if you're doing it on a 60 and you want to put a badge, or you just put at the bottom of the board. Hope Lulstacks drops a new image of the Kaze Mini. He did say it was coming soon. Oh, is that gonna have a form of blocker and stuff? Feel like there was a mention of it when the lat NRD batch was dropped, but don't quote me on that. I see. Wait, Sit, did I do this wrong? Wait, I'm looking at that image you sent me. It looks like I did do it wrong. Okay, it's just the orientation of the slider. Okay, that's annoying. Oh, so I just need to flip it around. That the pic is distorted AF. I mean, that's fine, but the slider didn't seem to fit that direction, but let me try again. Maybe it's okay. My pick is doo-doo. No. So you have this open part here. Oh my god. Okay. Let me move this to the side. So you have this open part here, and then the slider kind of goes with the hook facing up. But maybe I'm just not pressing it through properly. Give me a sec. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it stops properly. Okay. That's what I thought. That was the first thing I did. I don't know why I didn't do it right the first time. Probably just skill issue on my end. Okay, that's fine then. We're good. No, your pick is fine. It's me. Alright, okay, so let's do this thing. If only there was something that could solve this problem. Tauper stuff. All right. What's next? Domes. Domes and springs. Okay. So the question is, how should I do this? Should I do like a heavier spacebar? That could be fun. Try them out. Yeah, maybe I was thinking I'm gonna put the lighter ones like maybe in the nav cluster or something. So let's start with the alphas first. Okay, got a segment of 4 and 5. Okay. The super light ones are basically means for your viewership's pleasure. Yeah, I wouldn't use super light ones myself, but I understand. Maybe let's do one heavy spring for the bar. Could be fun, I think. Do it the OG way, like in Cherry, where they put like an MX gray kind of deal. Fun fact about the domes, the nipple has a small hole to allow more air to escape. And it's designed to make springs easier to align. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I do see it. You can sort of see it right there. Dogwood flower, because I'm from North Carolina. Oh, very nice. Yes, if you look carefully, you also have the little Clever Keeps logo on there. Very cute. Very cute. I can show you these are the heavier ones. Some nice colors on this. And then we have some of the light ones here. And then if you would like to scan a QR code, there's a DynaCap sticker. Want to buy black sliders and housings? I have a thing for you. It's called Real Force. And it has black sliders. Put some light domes on the nav cluster for fun. I did this wrong. Maybe I should do a comparison. So maybe I'll just do too heavy, too light, too medium, just for fun. So someone can grab it and be like, oh, this is how it feels. Just cut them individually, why not? Let's go heavy to light, I guess. So heavy. Go light at the edge, so that said, I think this board is going back to Canon keys, so I guess it's mostly for them. I don't get to keep this, so they'll get to play around with it. Okay, we should use the individual ones for these individual positions. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Put a heavy dome on the right split shift so you remember this is the way. Oh my god. This is slander. KLC springs too? Yes, KLC springs as well, yes. Is it unsilenced? It is silenced currently. It is currently silenced. Okay. Alrighty. Springs now. God forbid I move this too much. Oh my god. I said that and I obviously do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Christ. The worst part of this is when you do stuff like this and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna put my springs on, and then you put them on and you're like, oh wow, great, I'm about to line it up all properly, and then it just goes and then it just gets all destroyed, and you're like, okay, great, all my springs now are like everywhere, and I hate myself. Oh, that's a nice. I like what you did with the domes. Clever. So, okay, I need to be careful. Okay, but let me show you what's neat about this. The alignment thing of the spring is actually very nice. I really like it. You basically have a basically a very mild protrusion sort of right there, like, you know, where the hole is, and then you have like a slight bump, and basically it lines up with the diameter of the spring, so it kind of fits nicely. It's very nice. This is a great, this is definitely one of the better like quality of life improvements that is there for domes. Other people's domes also, like, there are solutions similar to this, but this definitely is pretty intuitive and very nice. The OEMs do not know. The OEMs just kind of have just the dome, and that's it. I mean, that's why even when you get the OEM like boards, like OEM like boards, even completely, what is that? What's the right word for it? Unadulterated? Is that what they call it? Like when you completely stock and untouched, like you still can have a potential for misaligned springs and domes. So because they're just placed by, I'm not sure if they're placed by a machine. I'm assuming they would be like pressed, but I don't know. And yeah, they can definitely have misaligned parts. Diego, you're supposed to say it's pretty clever. Yes, it is quite clever. God damn it. Lost opportunities left and right. I am not ready for this new enlightened movement of new EC. I mean, clearly I haven't been, because even since the release of the Heavy Grail and like the show stuff and like all these EC housings and EC kits, the Type K and like whatever else, I still have not bought a single board with like an EC kit, because I just like my OEM stuff, and so I'm like, well, do I really want this? I'm like, do I want to spend like $250 or $200 or however much, like whatever I need for all the parts? I'm like, no, it's okay. And I still don't have any of the like aftermarket housings or custom EC stuff. I just never got around to it. I just like the OEM stuff enough. So yeah, I'm clearly not ready for this whole new EC wares. But what I'm actually excited about when it comes to new EC though is that you can now make custom housings and fully designed from the ground up, thinking of EC only and EC alone, like no MX, just EC. And I think that is super nice, because that's like something that no one ever thought was possible, and now it is. That is great. So not just like kit replacements, not just like, oh, I'm converting MX to EC. You know, like the Blue Ridge that Clever is making is like basically just EC in mind, right? Or there was that board by was it ATX, the Texas maker? But yeah, just overall, I think this is the good stuff about the current innovations in the EC area. OEM just feels perfect. Yeah, OEM feels great. And also, I don't know. It's like you spent already so much money for like OEM stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think this is the point where I'm good. Oh crap. Oh no, I hate it when this happens. Okay, there we go. Live Oak, yeah. Thank you. I mean, I think Live Oak kind of came before a lot of this new stuff started happening, but you know, it's like it kind of lines up with the start of like hopefully more than housings, like hopefully more than just aftermarket housings for HHKB or Real Force and the stuff like that, right? Oh, thank God, these springs are like not very tangled. They're just kind of sitting in the bag, so they get bunched up a little, but they're not like very tangled. I hate it when they do get like really tangled up and you just have to like rotate them around until they disentangle themselves. EC building is definitely a little bit kind of nice, therapeutic perhaps, only in the sense that you're just kind of dropping in parts in a way. I think compared to MX it's a little bit different. Like I don't feel like I'm forcing myself, like pressing them into the plate, making sure they're like properly clipped and everything. I mean, I guess the housings do have to do that, but it's kind of easier because they have like this like nice bigger flat area on the perimeter. And then you're just kind of like placing things carefully, lightly. Kind of feels nice to see them like, oh, they're like falling in place. And then you have to line everything up and make sure everything closes and everything, you know, and none of the domes are misaligned, that kind of stuff. And that part is a little bit more frustrating, but alas, you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. Actually tears up your finger sometimes. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I hope I didn't put any double springs anywhere. I don't think so. I don't really see extra coils. Sometimes it's really hard to tell whether there's 1 or 2 springs. No, I think based on the exact number of springs being from the bag, I think that's exactly right. Okay, sweet. Okay, don't breathe too hard. Don't breathe too hard. Okay. Just gotta make sure my domes are lined up. Okay. Maybe I'll use something plastic. Waiting for an unsuspecting earthquake to happen. God damn it! Shush. We're not in Japan. We're not in a big tectonic plate area. I mean, I think earthquakes can hit this area, but not as easily, I think. Okay, hopefully that's. Oh God, I hope this is lined up fine. Okay. Sorry if my head's blocking the way. I'm just trying to line up the little screw holes here. It's the best way. It's the easiest way to figure out that they're actually lined up. Okay. Alright. Where's Kiwi to jump on the desk? Oh my god! Just thinking about it, it's like... makes me feel like panicked. Because yeah, he could totally do that. Could 100% do this. Call him over, show off the progress. Oh god. Oh, my hands are shaking. Alright, it's almost there. Just need a few more screws and then I can just confirm the state of the domes. Two, 3, 4, 5, maybe a couple more. Do I need more screws than this? Oh, they're all over here. Wait, what screws did I just use for this? Why am I doing? Oh my fucking god! Why am I doing this? See, I knew I was ruined. I knew I was messing with something. I was like, yeah, these are the K screws, but they're like the same diameter. Okay, no. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Just replace the screws one by one, each one as you place them. Each one as you place them. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. No unsuspecting earthquakes. Where's my screwdriver? No unsuspecting earthquakes. We're just replacing screws. We're just replacing screws slowly one by one where I was removing each one from. Okay, it's all good. It's all good now. It's all good. It's all good. We're still good. For some reason, I place the case screws which have the same diameter, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm like, why are they so thick at the on the screw head? It's like, yeah, I know why. Diego, are you okay there? Incoming Kiwi Quake? Oh god. He would totally do this. If we were to do it out to spite me, I think I would believe it. Like, I would believe that he would do this to spite me. He'd be like, jump! Hey there! Where's my food? It's like, hello? Okay. Now let's just get a few more. And we can check alignment of stuff. Okay, I think I'm good now. This one. Okay. All right, let's check now. I can't hear it. Okay. Okay. Everything's good. Everything seems good. So far, so good. Alright, let's just try our mods for a sec, and then we can move forward. CEO Kiwi's hungry, stop what you were doing. Totally possible, yes. Oh wait, no long right shift. Okay, good. Good. All right, we move forward. Yes, sir. All right, now I don't need the plate thingies, so let's just keep going. How are the clever domes? So far so good. Pretty good. So far, they seem to me like they are quite similar to OEM 45. Like not too heavy and light enough, but also not overly like soft. So far, so good. I'll compare with. I'll bring like I don't know, like one of my HKBs or something. See what it's like. That said, you know, MX different from MX caps different from Topre, but just from like the tactile feeling of the domes, we can just kind of check from that perspective. Do you prefer OEM over BKE? Oh yes, 100%. I actually don't. I don't like BKE enough that I would probably never buy it for myself. Like I've tried OG BKE, I've tried Redux, I've tried a few other things that people like, and personally I'm not invested in it. I don't really care for it that much. Just don't really care for having that extra tactility. It's very tactile and it's very nice, but not enough for me to use every day, so I wouldn't really buy it for myself. Okay, looks like oh, it's this one. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, everything feels pretty good so far. Let's move along. Are you using KLC springs? Yes, so all except for the domes are KLC components. So sliders, springs, stabilizers, yeah, everything but the domes are currently KLC components. What plate is that? This is a brass plate. Do you clean them off the oil? I suppose not, because I used them as they came, but I believe they were used before me, so I trust that they're okay to go, because I believe they were tested once before. Before I do that, maybe I should test. Oh, I guess to test I need to plug it in anyway, so maybe I'll do that now before I put them down. Where's my cable? Here. Okay. All right, plug it in for now. Just kind of lay it on top for now. And then I should probably test these out, do the calibration before I close everything up. Oh, I need to actually use this board for a sec. Okay. I heard the PCB go off, and it shows up on VIA, I believe. Yeah, there it is. Let's do some changes. Okay, that's fine. This is F12. So let's switch that real quick. Oops, there. And then EC tools, calibration. Yeah. I would just clear the calibration as well. Yeah. Okay. Bottoming calibration. And then I just press each one of them, right? If I recall, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Things good there. So now we can unplug. And then go ahead and mount it up. Actually, I can just put it aside for now. Okay. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put the plate. So the Caerdroia uses a top mount assembly, as you can see. It uses 7 points, one near the F1, one near the F5, one near the F10-ish, and then one near the scroll lock, and then one near the left arrow, one near the right alt, and one near the left alt. Okay. What plate material is that? It is a brass full plate. All right, that's it. Closed off. And there it is. Is Kiwi around? Unfortunately, no, not yet. He comes back, I think tomorrow night. All right, what keycaps should we put on this? What keycaps do we put on this, eh? Classic beige? We could do that. Rubre Jose? Rubre Jose. Mixed retro lights. I don't have that. That's a Keycaps there, right? Yeah, I don't have mixed retro lights, unfortunately. Ugh. Dandy CRP blanks. Oh, I don't have CRP blanks either. I have CRP, but I don't have the blanks. I did not buy them. I didn't buy them on time. It was out of stock by the time I checked. We could do Dandy, yeah. Oh, I don't have the cream color Dandy though. I have the green one. No DCS? I do have DCS. Let's see what DCS I got here. See, I have Honeywell. I have Dolce. I have Windbreaker. I have 9009, Soware. Small Fry, Cherry Replica, Delftware, Wob, Cream Cheese and Green, Rebel or Red Alert is what people call it. You want to see some 9009? We could do that. I could get some DCS 9009. Yeah? Okay. Cool. 9009. Do you guys want to see Gorton or Cherry? I actually have both. I picked up the Cherry one when it was on sale. It was nice and cheap. Wise all day? Okay, Gorton it is. All right. I'll bring it over. Give me a minute. Okay. Yeah, I used it on Dal. Yeah, that was a while back. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go bring it. Okay, brought 9009. Indeed, I have it on the doll. So I'll move some of the caps over. Oh, I totally forgot I had this Polish kit that I got for it. Yeah, we can transfer that over. Why not? Where's my keycap holder go? Just had it right here. Okay, I'll just use this big one. You almost made me read that out loud, Rue. Oh, jeez, wow, such a trap over here. Wow, I almost got God to read that out loud. I actually don't have the fixed apostrophe for the 9009 kit that I have, because I got it in the aftermarket, and they didn't have the fixed kit. So I have thick apostrophe. Ankit sold a fixed kit? Yeah, he had run out when I asked, so it was just too late. Polish DCS caps? Yeah, someone ran a like a kit for it. Like a small, like it was like a tiny batch. I think it was someone from Poland who did it, and then was organized through a few of their friends, I think, and I was asked if I wanted to pick it up. So I did, because I was like, I think it looks so sick. Yeah, vendors didn't give it to GB buyers. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I was asking the person who was selling the 9009 set, which they didn't. Let's see. I think oh, it's short shift. That's right. Okay. SMH missing the euro under U. Oh, am I? Oh, rip. Oh, I think they had to reduce some of the keys, if I recall. I think I remember something like that. Yeah, here it is. DCS Polish kit authenticity card. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the Euro one is there. Okay. Let's see, what accents does this have? Ooh, it has the pink insert. I'll do that. And then I'll do maybe the green enter. Extra flare. Even though I don't have an LED, I'll put the LED cap because it looks cool. Okay. Shift. Caps lock. We don't have euros. Fair. Fair. Arrow keys. Let's see, Control Alt F7. But the symbol somehow made it through. True. It's kind of amusing, eh? Also, Soren, you came back. I thought you were busy with stuff. I think I saw you say goodbye earlier, and I was like, oh, okay, bye. Do you hear me say Polish, and you're like, what? What? Okay. F8. 2 games of Counter-Strike aren't that long. Okay, fair. This is true. Counter-Strike is not that long. Page down. F10. Where's my second super? 1U super. It might be in the bag still. Yeah, here. All right. There it is. Oh, that looks clean. That looks nice. Okay. Put some beige on this. Maybe I'll put this soon cap because it kind of goes with the green accent. I'll put it here. So it's also like DCS-ish profile. Okay, now let's put some beige. Maybe I'll switch it up a little bit. Put a Hogan. Maybe I'll put this light beige robot and put a art key. All right, that's good. All right, let's try it out. Let's see. Side cam. Oh, it got moved a little bit. Let me move it a little up. And let me move this away briefly. Okay. There it is. All right. So we are almost ready to type on this. Let's try it out. Let me move the mic. Okay, let's try this out. Caerdroia from James of Alchemist Keyboards. We have this built with, let's see, what did I put in the build command? DynaCap EC domes. These are the, so these are 42 gram domes. And we have, I guess this is the, what's the weighting of the heavier one? Is it 56? 56 on spacebar. And then brass volt plate. This is just top mount brass plate, KLC parts for everything else, and then we have DCS 9009 for the keycaps, and yeah. All right, let's give this a shot, shall we? All right. Sorry if my left hand's a little slow today because of this cut, but yeah. All right. Here you go. That sound reminds me of Kale Box Silence. Not a fan. That's fair. That's actually a fair comparison because there are Kale Box Silence that do sound kind of similar to Topre. People have said this before. It's not the first time I hear this. But I think I want to comment on the feel a little bit more than the sound. Because I think the sound also depends on everything else, which is keycaps, sliders, springs, and whatnot. I will say, just from the get-go, I personally don't love the way KLC EC parts sound. I tried it before on the Densys Alveus board, and I was not like a huge fan of the EC components. They just have a little bit of like, not sure how to explain it. It's like rub, like they have like a rubbing sort of sound to them that is kind of there. It's just kind of there, you know, like it's hard to grasp, but it's there. And so I kind of hear it throughout the typing. Like I can kind of hear like this like rubbing somewhere, you know. It's like kind of like everywhere. It's like just like spread in the parts. Okay, this has this rubbing thing, and so it's like lubed or not, I kind of feel like it's just there. And it's just kind of one of those things. But I want to comment on the domes though. The domes feel really nice. These domes do remind me of OEM a lot more than other domes that I've tried, for sure. They have a light tactility that's not too pronounced, but also not too light. It's close. I would say OEMs are a tinge more pronounced in tactility, but the overall weighting is in the ballpark. It's in the ballpark of the weight, and it's kind of close. It's like this is like your OEM not aged brand new sort of like, you know, it's like on the lighter end of it, but it's like in that like range where you think oh, this is kind of like light tactile. It's not heavy. So it's comfortable. So the domes are pretty nice. I don't hear like spring ping. I don't think that like wispy rubbing sound is coming from the springs themselves. I think it's coming from the whole parts as a whole. So if you're hearing like this, yeah, like a wispy sort of like chalky some kind of sound, I think it's coming from all the parts all together, kind of playing this role. So but yeah, the feel of this is nice. Actually, I'm surprised. This is a brass plate and it feels really nice. It's brass plate with this particular top mount configuration. It's feeling pretty good. It's stiff, but it's no different from Real Force stiff, Leopold stiff. It's stiff for sure. Do not expect soft, or do not expect bouncy or anything like that. Now it's the opposite of that. It doesn't feel like that at all. So it is kind of closer to what the Real Force steel plate would be like. It's just kind of stiff, but I think it's good. It's like reminds me of like vintage boards with steel plates. You know, they just kind of feel stiff, but they're there. You know, they just kind of feel like that. The domes themselves though do kind of individually feel pretty good. So yeah. All right, let's go through the mods. I hear some spring ping from this one, for example. Like, not ping, it's like rattle, maybe? A little bit. The spacebar is pretty nice, though. Pretty nice spacebar. The stabs are actually okay. So, yeah. Oh, how about those 25 gram domes? So I think those were here. they're actually pretty light, but you can still feel some resistance to them. Actually, they're so light though that the slight bit of tactility that you do feel from the 25-gram domes, the feel of these 25-gram domes, Clever, is the feeling of when you improperly store topre and they kind of linearize from being squished. That's the feeling they have. That's the best way I can describe it. The best way I can describe the lightness of these 25-gram domes is the feeling of squished 45-gram domes. They've been squished for like a few weeks, a few months kind of deal. So it's like they still work, they still come back up, barely, but they're light, and so they kind of feel linear. So these straight up feel linear. So actually, I guess if you want EC linear, these 25-gram domes are kind of close. Actually, it might not be a bad idea to keep them around for the people who want that like pseudo-linear experience. But you know, really light. They still have a little bit of stiffness. Maybe that's just because of the dome's natural resistance to compression. They're just kind of coming back up to shape. So like you do feel a little bit of resistance, but I think it's just the inertia of like staying in the, it's like in the same form, you know, like restoring shape. The heavy ones are they're decently heavy. Individually, it's hard to say. On the spacebar, it's like kind of more obvious. I actually like this heavier spacebar. It kind of has a more like, it just has a stronger return, and so like it feels a little bit snappy, but at the same time, it's not like, I dislike 55-gram OEM topper in the entire board because it feels really tiring. The return is like ta 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 ta, and it's like just kind of tires me out. So I don't really love 55-gram OEM topper. I'm not a heavy typist, so that's why. But on these 1U, it feels nice. It feels like kind of like resistant, but you know, it's okay like for individual keys like this. But I don't think I could do these 56-gram domes on the whole board. I think I would find them too heavy. Yeah, I could see them shining nicely on other, like on different boards too, like on PC, for example. They could sound really nice because of the snappiness. So yeah, like an ever so slightly scratchy MX switch. Actually, Conan, these EC switches right now, like the EC parts, that like wispy, chalky sort of sound coming from them, it's similar to that sound that those Nixies that I had in the BP one sounded like. That like plastic rub, but like it's so slight that it's like maybe it's making the sound in the like a 10th of the travel, that it's making this like very like high pitch like sip sip kind of sound, and so that's kind of like what I'm hearing. I don't think it's spring crunch though. Like I don't hear, what I'm hearing right now is not crunching of the metallic coils. Spring crunch is very like obvious. Spring crunch, you hear it and you kind of hear the like kind of like clicking sound of the spring. That's not it. These domes are actually lined up pretty well with the springs, and I don't think what I'm hearing is the spring crunching like down as it compresses. So I don't think is it Niku who is asking? I don't think it's spring crunch what we're currently like hearing. But yeah, super nice. I really like the domes, Clever. So these are quite nice. Slightly lighter than new HKB 45-gram non-snow domes. Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate actually. Yeah. DCS caps do contribute to reverb. Yeah, it is. DCS is just different. Can you try PVT? I could try PVT. You guys want me to try like PVT caps? I could try that. Housing soon. Say goodbye to keycap interference. Yay! No more R3 interference. Miss a typing test. I can type on it once again before you switch keycaps. Me when people don't like heavy 55. It's just me, okay? Something similar to stock MX2A silence. Yeah. KL box silence, stock silence, kind of that. KLC springs just had that issue. Maybe it's KLC springs when paired with certain domes just have that spring crunch, perhaps. Maybe it's the fact that these are currently lined up properly that it doesn't have that spring crunch. But spring crunch, spring ping, typically associated with alignment problems, in my opinion. I almost always, when people say like, oh, I have like this kind of crunchy sound, I always tell people like, just try realigning it again. And it takes a few tries for some people, but usually helps enough. I usually don't blame it on the springs only because they're so light already. I typically think if they're lined properly and they compress, like if you can take the spring, the conical spring in your hand and just do this and they compress all the way down to a singular layer of coils, then your spring shouldn't technically have issues if it's lined up properly, right? Because it means it's compressing on that one axis, on that one vertical axis properly until it reaches that singular layer of metal coil. So I typically say like it's usually an alignment issue, but yeah, quality of springs does matter at the end of the day, because sometimes they can be a little bit misaligned, or like, you know, like the coils aren't perfectly like even distance wise, and so when they compress, they don't compress like evenly with respect to one another, each individual coil, and so you might have some rub between the coils. Yeah. These domes do make aligning easier, so I do think that's kind of playing a little bit of a role. Yeah. So let me try on this one more time. We can switch some keycaps, and we can go from there, shall we? All right, so let me try this once again. This is currently we have a 42 gram actuation domes from Clever's DynaCap EC set, and currently we have all KLC parts for components. We have some DCS 9009 for keycaps, and this is a brass full plate on the Caerdroia with the EC kit. PCB powered by Sipulat technology. All right, let's get it going. Yeah, so I do think overall this sounds really nice. I do think the KLC components here are playing a little bit of a role into like how it sounds, and so I actually would be kind of excited to see something like this with OEM, like the domes. That said, MX compatibility, I still think MX compatibility wise, you know, Clever is working on you know, his own stuff for housings and whatnot. But like, you know, there's like desk keys, there's Novatouch, I guess. Novatouch and desk keys technically are like kind of like probably the best available option. That said, Novatouch is expensive because you have to basically harvest, so always an issue with that. So assuming you don't have to harvest from other places, desk keys is usually what a lot of people will use, but they're not cheap, and so but I tend to find that desk keys is like the more like they've refined their product a decent bit. That said, I think Clever is working on stuff, for example, to prevent keycap interference and like small like quality of life improvements from there. So pretty exciting stuff happening in the EC space. But yeah, it's just the material in the desk key housings, you think, because it just doesn't sound nice. The difference is quite stark. Yeah, desk key housings tend to have like a very like loud clacking sound to them, I think, if I recall. They sound different too. Yeah, the housings sound different for sure. From like OEM, for example. Like for example, I'm more keen on desk key sliders as a whole, but I'm not too sure about the housings either. The only thing is I haven't done like a comparison of like, let's compare OEM housings with OEM sliders, and then desk key housings with OEM sliders, KLC housings with OEM sliders, and then you do the next step, which is to switch the housing and then keep the same sliders. I mean, switch the sliders and then keep the same housing and so on. And just do like a parameter test, you know, just do a fully, like all the combinations. And so that would be the best way to test it, but I don't think we've ever done that. So yeah, usually people like get desk key sliders and desk key housings, so it's like hard to compare. Yeah. Okay. What's a ding key breaker add-on for Topre? What the heck is that? I am so unaware of these new products now. Ding key breaker Topre. Ding key designs automated switch break-in machine. Is that what it is? What is this? Okay. Interesting. He did a small run of Topre break-in. Oh, okay. Wow. So many things out there now. Break-in, huh? Okay. Guess Topre now has break-in stuff? Oh, that's interesting. Man, people come up with all kinds of stuff. It's rather interesting to me. Alrighty. To break into sliders, wild. Yeah, wild indeed. Anyway, let's show off the Caerdroia for a sec here, but it looks great though. Okay, let's talk about just the board. Let's not talk about the parts for the EC stuff. Let's just talk about the board itself. Look at that. Looks, the E-beige on this is really nice. Really nice color. Really nice color. Really cute. Really nice. Looks great with 9009, very obviously. But yeah, with DCS, looks very good. Just gonna show off what the board looks like. So we have a small Caerdroia engraving. It's like super subtle. If you want to look at it from this angle, it's right there. Actually, okay, JD, move out of the way for a sec. But it's like a very subtle engraving. I have a little chip on the E-beige here. That's from the prototyping handled. But it was already there before I got it, so I don't know. But it's a very nice E-beige colorway. There's the back, so you can obviously plug in other devices here. They're going to support USB 3.0, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so a centered USB-C port to plug it into your computer, and then you get a you get an AKB engraving on there with the USB hub, very nice. And then there's our centered USB port. Then that Caerdroia engraving again, now shown on the weight, kind of subtle. I like how subtle all these little engravings are. They're not very intrusive, nice and subtle, nice cool weight. Decently hefty board. Oh, thanks for the plug, Diego. I got a drop, or feel free to send more thoughts. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for stopping by, Clever. I appreciate you. And let me weigh it, I guess. People might be curious about the weight, but it weighs a decent bit. I would say like a solid 5 or 6 pounds. I think it's probably like 6 or 7 pounds, actually. But let's see. What DCS alphas are those? These are 9009 with Polish alphas, like an add-on kit that was sold like on a small, I guess FNF? Not really sure if it was FNF, but small semi-private or semi-public rather buy. But oh, 6 pounds exactly. Okay, so 2.7 kilos built. Pretty nice. 2.7 kilos. So hefty enough, I would say. Not too light, not too heavy, but definitely heavy enough for a TKL. 6 pounds is actually 6 pounds is pretty heavy. Definitely heavy, so I would recommend lifting it from the sides. And yes, someone requested we can try PBT. We can definitely try PBT. Should we try? What kind of PBT would you want to try? Do you want to try like CRP? Do you want to try like OG Cherry? Do you want to try like I have like nice PBT, etc. I think who was it? Codebra who asked? I'll wait for Codebra to answer just because they requested. If Codebra is still here, that is. And before they left, it's possible. I mean, I don't blame anybody who leaves early, because honestly, is it fun to watch me? And to watch someone build a keyboard for like 2.5 hours or whatever, 3 hours now after we do this. Ugh, yeah. Ugh, my weekend's gone. Anyway, Diego, I'm here for the impressions. Yes. Why do I feel attacked by that? I'm sorry. Wait, Codebra, where are you? Come back. Tell me what keycaps to use. I'm gonna start removing caps in the meantime. Damn it, Codebra left, possibly. Or they're busy, or they're running errands. Yeah, CRP will be fire. Okay, CRP it is. Alright, I'll bring some CRP then. Some CRP. Oh man. Well, you know, I'm always happy that you guys are here, because it would suck to just do this and know that I'm literally talking to the void. Which sometimes it happens, by the way. Like, I'm doing stuff and then I'm talking and then I'm like, I wonder if there's anybody who's actually listening. And I'm just talking to the void, which is, I guess, my computer screen. But if you guys realize that streaming is literally that, like, that it basically involves you turning on your computer, clicking a button that says, I'm broadcasting this shit to the internet, and then, you know, in my case, I guess I put my face in front of a camera too, right? And then you, like, talk to your computer screen in the middle of your, like, you know, in your room, and you're like, you kind of dissociate from that, look at yourself, and you're like, what am I doing? There's times when I've been like, yeah, what am I doing? But I mean, it's fun. Obviously, I do it because it's fun. But I guess in a void, it kind of feels, it's kind of funny to think of it that way. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of whack, actually. Makes me think about every streamer started before their first viewer. Yeah, I mean, like, when, like, I didn't have more than, like, 25, 30 viewers for a while. I would say, like, it was really, like, little, like, in the year, or, like, in the year maybe before, like, the pandemic, kind of, like, where the viewership really started taking off. a bit more. And obviously the pandemic really helped, right? Because, you know, everyone's stuck at home kind of deal, and a lot of people joining in. But yeah, like when you have a smaller audience, it's much more interesting in the sense that like you're essentially talking like to a few people who are active in the chat too, because there's going to be people who just tune in, turn it on, leave it open kind of deal. So you're not really chatting with them, or you're like not really like chatting to like a specific person's like questions, stuff to talk about. And so yeah, do you have a picture in your head of how each of us might look like? Yeah, of course. Of course. And then you think, and then I feel bad. That's why I feel bad, because I imagine, and then I'm like, am I that fun, entertaining to like watch, to take away your precious time? And then I feel bad, because I don't have great self-esteem, okay? And so I think of it, I'm like, man, I wish I could pay it forward a little bit more. And then I think like, yeah, I wish I was like hella funny or something like that, but I don't think I'm that funny. We are all AI. Lilium Prime for release now, Mr. Gog, with the clever stuff being nice. Hell yeah. Don't call me out like that. I'm just lubing switches. Sorry. Even when you think of Kupo is a chatbot. We know Kupo is just a server. Mr. Kupo is just one with the server rack. Yeah, I do not know of Mr. Kupo's real. Mr. Kupo's presence is mysterious. It's truly mysterious. Okay, let's look for some CRP, I guess. CRP. I don't know what CRP I want to put on. Shall we do some... I don't know. Desco, maybe? Desco Black? Could be fun. Greek Tulip could be fun. All right, I'll bring CRP. My headcanon is that Kupo is a billionaire rancher, dude. Yes, Mr. Kupo probably was the person who saved us from this stupid tariff situation. Surely. HS H471, my beloved. Or 73? Just one of those. Oh, you know what? I brought a fun set. This is the Cyrillic one with orange sub-legends. I think this one's kind of fun, so I brought this one. Diego IRL looks diff from Stream Diego. What are you trying to imply, Captain Mike? Are you trying to say that I look worse in real life? Is that what you're implying? Are you saying like, oh yeah, you guys wake up, sheeple? Stream Diego is just beautified with Ugh, AI, gross. With filters. AI smoothing? Yeah, I am AI smoothing my brain. Alright, let's see. We all are. Catfish Diego SMA, she's extra fine, she IRL. Wow. Okay. I see. I see you glazing. You guys are so funny. I'm just a normal guy. You know, oh my god. I don't know, this is real talk, but like I'm kind of awkward in real life. I like, it was, when was this? It was like, was it like a week ago or so? So I reconnected with an old college friend of mine. We like went to college together. We were actually roommates for like senior year of college. We reconnected because I was like walking around town and I just encountered him at it was like a matcha dessert place sort of thing, and you know, I was like, oh, is that you know, this friend? And I was like, oh, hey, like, what are you up to? Like, what are you doing here or whatever? And like, we reconnected like a few months back, and then he was like, oh, actually, like later on, he like texted me saying like, oh, it's like my birthday, and I'm doing like a small, or not small, but I'm doing like this like get together at like, you know, like some bar, right? And I like went, obviously didn't really know many people there, but like, dude, it's so awkward when you go to like a social thing, but you literally only know the one, like, you know, I know like him and his partner, and fortunately there was this one other guy who was also one of my roommates, like senior year of college, and I didn't know that he was still like in the city working, and so I was like, oh, like, what are you doing here? I didn't even know that you were still in New York. And we like reconnected, chatted for a bit. Like, you know, there is some food that came in, some like bar food, so I like had some food and stuff. And then it was just like full of people I didn't know at all. Like, you know, it's like from the workplace, the partner is like workplace, and the like he plays like frisbee or something like that. So like the frisbee friends, and you know, it's like a bar, so it's not like they're doing like, you know, it's not like everyone's participating in a single thing together. Like everyone's just kind of chatting, having drinks, whatever, right? And obviously my friend's like busy like attending to all these people, giving them free drinks or whatever it is. And I was just like standing there like awkwardly. I was like, this is also, my partner was also not there, right? So it was just me. And I was just like standing there like, the drinks are okay. I got my free drinks. I got my free food. And he's busy, so so, you know, you're like just kind of standing there like, am I like gonna talk up to somebody and get to know them and all this shit? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna go riz up somebody and be like, oh, hey, what do you do, blah blah blah, like, and then like talk about work, gross, and oh, your hobbies and that kind of shit. And I was like, I'm gonna go. So I maybe stayed there like maybe like an hour and some. I was like, I'm bouncing, bye, deuces. I don't know anybody here, but yeah, I just remember that I had an awkward situation like that. Like, what am I gonna do? Oh yeah, hi, I'm Diego, and I'm, you know, this guy's friend from college. Wow. You know, we go back all these years and we reconnected. I'm not gonna do that shit. And so I was just like, yeah, I'm leaving. I was like, I got my free food, I got my free drinks. I said happy birthday. I, you know, was there to sing happy birthday, yay. And then I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. Bye. You should have gone higher. I'm Diego, a famous keyboard streamer. Oh no, gross. Oh, ugh. Gross. No chance, buddy. No chance. I would hate that. They'll be like, oh, so what is that about? Keyboards like music? And I'm like, I have no musical bones, so I can't play shit. So, and then I'm like, oh no, it's actually like, imagine like doing like DIY electronics, you know, keyboards like the ones you type on, and they're like, oh yeah, keyboards, that was a thing. And then having to explain yourself. Oh no, so awkward, man. I've gone through this kind of conversation before, right? Like obviously I have friends from like, you know, that I've met over the years, and you know, obviously they eventually get introduced to like what I've been doing and stuff, and they get to know like, oh yeah, I do keyboards and I build them, and I like enjoy like, you know, building them, and I like, some people do know that I stream, things like that, and they're like, oh okay. But I can tell when they say like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm like, I can tell it's just like, oh yeah, that's good for you, buddy. That's good for you. Like, how cute. I'm like, you know. Yeah. So it's a real thing. But where the hell is this page down key? Page down. There's one here, but that's not the right one. Is it this one? How many page down keys must I go through to find the right one? Page down, 1U. Page up again. Page down. And it must be this one. Okay. Just pop up V and start making noises. Boop, 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 boop. Yes. That's exactly what I need to do to be sociable at these parties. Yeah, party and yeah. Love it. Love the spirit. It's great. Just pull out the business cards with the stream link. Oh my god, business cards. I don't think I have a business card for this stuff. It's not a bad idea though. I should probably make some for like meetups or whatever. Anyway. All you need to do is learn the Beverly Hills Cop theme song. Yeah. Oh god. Oh my god. Anyway, just wanted to tell you guys about this awkward hour and a half of bar time that I have, and like it's not abnormal. This is something that happens like sometimes, like. But you know, it's like I was reconnecting with an old college friend, and so like, you know, I expected to go and just chat a bit, but obviously they're busy with other things too, and so I was like, oh, you know, let them do their thing. But yeah, you sometimes live through these moments where you're like, what am I doing here? Show them your Vandal artisan and tell them what's up. Oh yeah. Look at this cool artisan, bro. I paid $100 for this keycap. I love spending my money on plastic. And then they're like, I spent $100 on, you know, there was a market dip recently, so I invested my $100 and now it's like $600, man. Ooh, I wonder what it's like going to be when I get capital gains tax. Oh, that's right, taxes are due soon, so now it's like, oh yeah, I need to know how much money I made. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about how much money I spent. And that's my fault, but you know how it is. Then you say nice 401k, and I'm like, yeah, I have a 401k B for keyboards. But anyway, it's not that I don't invest, or it's not that I don't keep a savings, but you know, It's just like a funny way of I spend on hobbies. What artisan is on the pause key? This one is Brobot from Brocaps. Brobot V2 from Brocaps. That's Zoom Blank from Zoom Caps. That's Goon Blank from Bogan Caps, and that's an Exo Boy from Artkey. I actually have not a business card cards that I carry around IRL that literally said this is not a business card on them, and people still think I'm going to try and get them to sell ugly leggings for me. I see. Pocket Artisan bringing out the big guns. Oh dear. Oh god. Honda sponsored luxury keyboard crafter. That's Dr. Diego. Oh my god. Speaking of Dr. Diego, oh my god. Oh man, that just reminded me of something hilarious. Basically I remember someone, like I met up with some like, I guess like they're like underclassmen essentially, from college. I met them through like, cause I like did this club thing back in school, and met a bunch of the underclassmen, and they kind of learned. They're like, oh yeah, what's your Instagram about? Like I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, I do this keyboard thing, right? And they're like, oh yeah, and you know, they eventually know that I have a grad degree, so I have a PhD. And they're like, oh, you're like Dr. Keyboards. I'm like, oh god. Please stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh man, it's okay. Dr. Keeb. Ooh, don't use that word. No, thank you. No, thank you. Dr. Keeb. Ooh, Keeb. All right, we got CRP now. So this is CRP, I guess Russian orange, I guess. This is from the R4 or R5, I forget which round, one of those two. And so this is thick PBT cherry profile, similar to DCS but just thicker, much thicker. These are DynaCap PBT caps and same build. So we have the Caerdroia with the full brass plate KLC components with clever DynaCap domes for the build. All right, CRP, here we go. There it is. All right, Codabra, wish fulfilled. Do you like it? Do you not? What's the deal? All right, we can go through the mods. All right, so there it is. Sound better, IMO? I do think it actually sounds better. In the specific sense that, so I think this is kind of generally true. DCS tends to, because their caps are thin, it tends to accentuate it accentuates everything. But Specifically, I feel like if you have any extraneous noises or sounds, it accentuates that even more. But like, for example, for like a nice tactile switch that you like the sound for, it tends to accentuate that sound a bit more. And so I think, like, for example, like people really like DCS with MX Browns, right? And I do think the thinness of the caps kind of accentuates the sound of MX Browns a bit. And I think right now what the CRP caps are kind of doing is like they're masking some of that like rubbing sound that I told you about earlier when I was trying it from the very beginning. And so it's kind of masking a little bit of that and kind of bringing in more of that like thok, right, of electrocapacitive. And so I do think for that reason it sounds pretty nice. Kind of sounds more like the typical custom EC build in a case that was designed for MX, right? Like it kind of has that more typical sound of like EC replacement on custom board. And so and also, you know, not to mention a lot of those sounds that people record are done with cherry profile keycaps, so kind of goes hand in hand with that. But yeah, so it sounds good. Both sound unique, like they sound different. But I do think on the DCS you hear a little bit of that like rubbing sound from the KLC and all the parts playing together, like playing a role together. You can kind of hear that a little bit more than in the CRP, I think. Yeah, but DCS does feel better. Like the tactility of the domes on CRP is much more diminished, in my opinion. So the resistance of the domes is not as apparent on CRP because the CRP caps are denser, and the PVT just in general, like here, it kind of makes it feel a little less like the tactility that these domes have, and they would feel like on OEM, for example. Yeah. Is there a doctor on board? Oh no, I think his heart has stopped thocking. Gross. Ooh. Thocking. Heart. Okay. The most insane thing with Mavis Beacon way back when is when they make you erase all the way back the mistake. If you had off by one error, like you were in a select trick 1970s or something, oh, it would just make you erase all the way. Oh yeah, that's very unforgiving. Yeah. All right. You need a monocle? No, thank you. No thanks. All right, so there it is, the Caerdroia, this time with cherry profile caps. They look quite nice. Quite the looker as well. It looks pretty nice. So yeah, if you're a fan of CRP, this is pretty good. Okay, so I guess that's about it for the build. I don't really have much else to kind of show. Today we got to show these 56 gram domes. Excuse me. I'll maybe switch to this one. Right ship looks weird. Yeah, I don't love split on. These are 25 gram domes just for fun. But the ones that we used primarily were where the hell are they? So these 42 gram domes. These are the ones that are mostly on the board. There's a 56 gram dome here in the space bar, and here we have 25, 42, and 56, just for fun. And everything else is just KLC components. So KLC components, the Dentsu's design KLC components. Yeah, and these do have silencing rings. I forgot to mention. It's on a full brass plate. Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Let's go and check who to raid. I'm not sure if anybody's streaming today, so let's take a quick look. Thanks for the stream. I'm off as well. Okay, Nine Walker, thank you for stopping by. As always, I always appreciate ya. I see Yuri working on a Wu-Ting. I think that's it keyword wise at the moment. Maybe just too early on a Saturday. Split on wing keyless, Longboy on wing key TBH. I don't know. I still personally feel like you right shift doesn't really need to be split, but that's just me. Join right when you're about to come off. Damn it! Oh no, hey, I'm sorry. You can hear the sound a little bit. Just I'll just say. Alright, let's go raid Yuri, our favorite Spanish streamer. They speak Spanish and English, so you'll get to see them do an Wu-Ting build at the moment. Good night, Soran. And the Pokemon Kid, thanks for the stream. Like your thoughts on the domes, we'll have to pick up. Yeah, I think these are great domes. I think compared to OEM domes, they're quite close. They're light tactile, not too tactile. So I think Clever did a pretty good job. I mean, I'm sure more fine tuning is always welcome, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I do like some of the quality of life improvements that the domes have, like for alignment of the spring, small things like that. I do kind of want to try these domes on an OEM replacement build where I just replace the full thing with the domes. I might actually do that. I might actually ask Clever if I can get some domes for an HKB and just do a replacement, see how that is. All right, folks. I'll see you guys later. Coming up soon should be the Boomerang from KD Fans and Laminar, as well as a few others like the Sebas from Nux Rose from Vietnam and some other builds. But I'll catch you guys later. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Okay, bye, take care.